Okay. Okay. Mic check 1 2 1 2. I am the Y2K collector, and happy Labor Day weekend to everyone who's going out to enjoy this last weekend of official summer. And depending on where you are in the country, it's starting to feel like summer is over, but it's been one exciting summer of just some amazing pickups and some killer filler. And when I say killer filler, I'm talking about those games that are not the most rare, that are not the most expensive, but are still games that are a ton of fun to play. And we've got some. I've got some for you here today, and I'm going to run through some of those with you. But it doesn't mean I didn't find some gems. I do have some gems that I picked up, and this is going to be the second half of the summer 2022 pickups. So I'm not going to do too much jabbering or blabbering, and I'm going to go ahead and dive right into it. And I've done a lot of Wii game finding this summer, and I'm going to run through some of those. So kicking it off here, we've got Resident Evil 4 for the Nintendo Wii. Never played this game, found it at the thrift store and just saw, it was complete in box. Looked like a pretty cool game for the Wii. I never really feel like the Wii is a serious console, so this is one of the more serious games for it, and I went ahead and picked that up. Then I also got, this is something that's different. I had never seen this before, but Dewey's Adventure. So this is a very interesting adventure game that uses the motion sensor of the Wii remote as you control the main character there. And it's a Konami game. Konami's known for great games. This is not an expensive game at all, but this is one that was uncommon and I hadn't seen it. Dewey's Adventure. So I went ahead and picked that up for the Wii. I'm always looking for good compilation games, where you get a bunch of games in one, and this is one that I had never heard of for the Wii, and this is the Data East collection. So there are a lot of games that were made by Data East that I played growing up. And so this collection right here is pretty cool. You get a bunch of them here. I did play this and I didn't recognize a lot of the games on here. This won't stay in focus for some reason, but yeah, I didn't recognize a lot of the games that I played on here, but this is a really cool compilation. I do plan on getting into more of the games, and this is cool because you can actually use the more retro style Wii controller for this one. So definitely allows you to get the full, that full action arcade experience instead of being confined to the Wii remote and the nunchuck. So this is a pretty cool compilation to get. I definitely recommend it. I could see something like this becoming pretty expensive soon. All right, and then got this game for free, bought it on Mercari. It was advertised as a complete in box, but it came like this. So definitely had to submit a request for return, and Mercari wound up letting me keep it for free. So this is Overlord Dark Legends for the Nintendo Wii. This probably plays better on the Xbox 360, but I think it was $8 on the Wii, so I went ahead and checked it out. And most of these games that I'm showing you here for the Wii average about $7. Okay, keeping it going here with some more Wii pickups. We have Spectrobe's Origins on the Wii. So another pretty cool Wii game here. This one's more kind of kiddish, but a cool looking adventure type game. So got that. I always love my shoot 'em ups. This one was interesting. The Monkey King. I've seen this game on the Nintendo Wii a bunch. Never actually had a chance to play it. And this is one, again, super cheap. This is like a $9 game, but a pretty interesting side-scrolling shoot 'em up. One that I wanted to check out on the Wii. Now, I had Rygar on the PlayStation 2, but I guess they came out with another Rygar, or Rygar 2, and it came out on the Wii. And this is Rygar Battle of Argus. So this is a pretty cool adventure game on the Wii. Another one that I haven't really heard about, because when it comes to the Wii, you just primarily hear about the Nintendo licensed games, but this is a really cool game made by Tecmo, adventure, open world, kind of hack and slash. This is one that I would definitely check out for the Wii. Okay, another one for the Wii that I hadn't heard about. Soul Calibur Legends for the Nintendo Wii. So this is another cool action fighting type of game on the Wii. Not so cutesy, more action, more gruff. And so this is one I would check out for the Wii as well. And again, all these come in under $10 complete in box. These are just some really cheap Wii games. Next up, Sonic Rings. Not much to say about this. We all know this. Super common game. Sonic on the Wii. Went ahead and got that. And then we have a cool one here. This is another one I had never really heard of, but the Final Fantasy Crystal Bearers. So this is one I hadn't heard of for the Wii. Another cool like RPG, action RPG type game on the Wii. Went ahead and got that. And this is a pretty cool one to snag there. So got that. And then last but not least, this is a thrift store, another thrift store pickup. This was Avatar, pretty beat up copy of Avatar. May not keep it, but it was so cheap at the thrift store, I figured I'd check it out. And I do like the Avatar cartoon, so an adventure game based on Avatar has got to be fun. So this is one that I went ahead and checked out for the Wii. And now we're going to go ahead and transition into some PlayStation stuff here in a second. Let me just get these out the way. All right, and before we get into the PlayStation, we're going to talk about another random pickup. Made a random pickup at my local game store. They were running a sale, and I found this game, Cyborg Justice. Don't know how many of you have ever heard of this game. Whoa, won't get in focus there. Let's see if we can get that in focus. Yeah, but Cyborg Justice is a pretty cool Sega Genesis game. This is it's like a beat 'em up, kind of like a robot beat 'em up type game, but it was pretty cool. Was able to get it as part of a bundle, so I went ahead and added that. Okay, and now we're going to kind of run through some of these PS2 games which I got also. Now, a lot of these came in a bundle. I actually found a deal online. A guy was selling a PS2, about maybe 13 games, and that was a mix of PS1 and PS2 games. And in that lot, the PlayStation 2 was like brand new. It was complete in box, almost brand new. And he had a couple gems in that bundle, which I'll show you towards the end. But I'm going to go through some of these, some of these shovelware PlayStation 2 games that came with it. And I'm keeping these because the boxes on these are immaculate. So if I do happen to run into a very rare PlayStation game that's just in a crappy box, at least I'll have some extra PS2 cases for it. So let's go through it. Madden 2003. We all remember Madden. And there we go. For some reason, the camera's struggling to focus here. But Madden 2003, we all remember that. That's a classic. We've got ATV Off-Road. This is another classic. This is the greatest hits. All of these are complete in box, 9 out of 10 condition. So we got ATV. Then we've got Combat. Was this Ace Combat 5? So this is another greatest hits copy here. Flight simulator game. Next up, this one's very nostalgic for me. This one means a lot to me, so I'm definitely keeping this. But NBA 2K2 with my man AI, the legend, the answer. This game actually got me into basketball games like hardcore. I had always played live, but 2K was just a game changer. Actually, NBA 2K was what changed it for me, but 2K2 was crazy. This has to be my favorite basketball game of all time, NBA 2K2. And I think it's even better on the Dreamcast, actually. All right, so another PlayStation 2 pickup. We've got The Incredibles here on PlayStation 2, so that's pretty cool. Got a PlayStation 2 pickup there. And then we also got Max Payne 2. So Max Payne 2 on the PlayStation 2, all coming a part of that bundle, complete in box. And then last but not least, we have Ty the Tiger 2, Ty the Tasmanian Tiger 2 on the PlayStation 2, and just a pretty big lot of just some, common shovelware type games. And then we've got some more PlayStation filler here. These games are pretty cool. I'm excited about some of these. First up is Batman Arkham City. So this is super common. Seeing this everywhere. This is a pretty cheap game, $5 game. But this was one I wanted to add to the PS3 collection. Then we have Near, I was actually able to get a sealed copy of this for pretty cheap, so went ahead and just added that to the collection. I feel like I have Near Replicant on the Xbox One, but I've never had this copy, so got that on the PS3. And then Genji. I have Genji on the PS2, I believe, but this is Genji Way of the Blade. So like another hack and slash type game on the PS3, another cheap one, but this is one I was really excited to get on the PS3. So added that. And then for any of you who followed my channel, you know how much I love the Marvel vs. Capcom series, and I was able to get Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite on the PlayStation 4 as part of a bundle that came with, I think, Knack 2 and Just Cause 3. So got these 3 games for around 20 bucks, but the main one I wanted was this one here, Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. I love the Capcom series, and I think I'm just going to get them all. Marvel vs. Capcom 2 will always be my favorite, but I love anything out of that series, so I added that there. All right. And last but not least, for some killer filler, I told you earlier that I love my compilation games, so found another one at the thrift store and was excited to get this one. This is Sonic's Ultimate Collection for the Xbox 360. Now, I know a lot of you have probably heard that the Sega Genesis Mini 2 is coming out with a whole bunch of really cool games that are right up my alley. Looks like it's going to have a bunch of really cool shoot 'em ups and side scrollers and things like that, and they're kind of veering away from some of the popular titles that everyone knows about. But until I get that, this is pretty cool because there are a ton of great Sega Genesis titles on this compilation, and this is another great way to play those games. So for $3 you can't beat it, and added that to my 360 collection. All right, so now we're going to kind of transition on over into some of the more heavy hitting stuff, and we'll talk about some of the systems that I was able to pick up. All right, so one of the consoles that I was able to get, got this at my local thrift store. It was very clean, and I bought this to replace an older beat up version that I got. But that's going to be the Xbox 360, the newer black version. And this one, I can't remember how many gigs this one comes with, but I got this Xbox because the one that I had, the other one that I had gotten from the thrift store, was a little older, was a little beat up. It had some old stickers on it, had some markings on it, and then it hummed really loud whenever I would turn it on to play games on it. And this thing is just Silence of the Lambs. It's like quiet as ever. And when I saw this at the thrift store, it's practically new. It almost seemed like no one played it, and I needed a good Xbox 360, so I went ahead and picked this up, and this was like $40. So really good deal for me. And then you have the controller, which the controller also came in pretty good condition. I don't know why, but it seems like a lot of these Xbox 360 controllers, when I find them, it seems like people they snack on this analog stick right here, or they let their dog chew on these, and they're always just so beat up and chewed up. This controller actually came out pretty good. It looks pretty good when I saw the 360. So that just heightened the deal for me and made me want to get it. So really cool pickup there in terms of systems. And then was able to get another system actually, and this is the one that came as a part of that online deal that I was so excited about. Again, $120. The dude was selling basically a complete in box PlayStation 2 and 13 games, I think. And so here's the PS2, the box, complete in box. I've got the controller and all the cords. It comes with all the manuals. The guy even left all of the plastic wrappings that the cords and everything comes in. So this is truly complete in box PlayStation 2. The box is okay. It's a little beat up. I would give the box maybe a 7 out of 10, 6.5 out of 10. I mean, there's no rips anywhere really. It's just some tape and it looks a little dingy, but really good condition for a complete in box PS2. And then I'm looking at the PS2 itself, and the PS2 itself is in superb condition. I don't think, the gentleman who had this played this at all. I mean, you look at the PS2, not a scratch, not a mark. Plays fantastic. Is super quiet. Just really clean. And if you follow my channel, whenever I pick up used stuff, I try to find the cleanest of used stuff. And I mean, even if you look here, just super clean. Maybe a nick here or there, but really clean PS2. So I was super stoked to find this because I have a PS2 now, PS2 Slim, but this one is just better condition. And so now I can either just keep the black one that I have, or just keep this silver one as a complete in box PS2. So really glad to find this. And now we're going to kind of go over some of the killer games that came along with that bundle. Okay, and so now we're down to the final stretch, and we're going to be looking at some of the heavier hitting titles that I picked up, and some of these are really good. And also over the summer, I was actually able to complete some games that I got. Like, there were some games that I had loose and I was able to find the case and manual. Some games I had the case in the game but no manual, and I'll show you a couple examples of those now. So a really cool game that I had that I just never had a case and manual for was Dragon Ball Z Butoden. I think I'm saying this right. This is one of the best Dragon Ball Z fighting games that I have played. It follows it's like a 2D style, uses a little bit of combos, and it feels like a cross between, and don't kill me, but like Marvel vs. Capcom and JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, but just Dragon Ball Z moves, right? So this is a really fun 3DS game. I recommend it if you like Dragon Ball Z fighting games. This is a very fun one, and I was able to complete this. I think complete in box is like a $38-$40 game, but still a very fun 3DS game, and I could see this one becoming rare or valuable. Next up, this one isn't super rare or valuable or anything, but I thought that this was a very interesting one because I don't see it often, and I wanted to get it for the 360, and that is Ninja Blade. So this is for the Xbox 360. Plays like Ninja Gaiden from what I heard. Probably not the best like stealth ninja type game, but a pretty cool one, and it's different, and I like those different games on the 360 that you don't see often. So this is one I grabbed. And then here's another example of me completing a game in terms of adding the manual. And there are certain Sega Genesis, I don't collect for the Sega Genesis a ton, but there are certain games that I will buy only because these are the games that I literally watched my big brother play back in like 1991 and 92. And I remember these cartridges, I remember the cases, I remember the artwork, and whenever I see them, they just take me right back to that little boy. And so this is one of them here, FILLER. FILLER is one of those games on the Sega Genesis that you don't hear about a ton, but this is an amazing shoot 'em up. It's like a top-down shoot 'em up. You're like this knight, you're flying on this Pegasus, and you've got this sword that shoots these beams, and you're just going through and just trying to blast your way through to save the princess. And this is it's based on like Greek mythology, just a really cool game. And I had this game before, but the game I had it had writing on it and it had no manual. So this one is complete in box. I finally found a pretty good manual to add to it. And so I'm glad to have this. Like I said, I don't have a ton of Sega Genesis games, but the ones that I do have, I really enjoy. And I also have one of those like 201 Sega game cartridges. So that's why I don't buy a ton of Sega games. I just usually buy the ones that aren't a part of that 201 compilation, and I never really see FILLER on those. So this is a really cool one here. Glad to have it. And then this is a game that I've had my eye on, I want to say maybe for 2 years now. I don't know why I waited so long to buy it. I guess I was just waiting for the right price, and found it over the summer and picked it up, and that's Champions of Norath. This is not a very unknown game. This is a popular game, I would say, fairly on the PlayStation 2. I think there's a greatest hits version to this, and this is just an action RPG type adventure type game, and this is one that I wanted to add to my PS2 collection. So glad to finally have this one here. Glad I didn't have to get the greatest hits. Glad I saw this. All right, and now we're getting down to the final stretch. So this is the final four, and we're going to talk about two of these last games are going to be two of the games that came in that bundle with the PlayStation 2, but we're going to talk about a couple others. So the first one is Star Wars. Walked into my local game store and they had Star Wars Jedi Power Battles. When I first started hardcore collecting for the Dreamcast, I actually had this game, and I think this game was pretty cheap when I first started collecting. I think this was like a $15 to $20 game, And I think now this game has gone up to like 30, 35, maybe even $40 in good condition. And don't get me wrong, this is a fun game, but it was just crazy how it doubled in like 2-3 years. But I was able to find a good price on this. I was able to get this at the local game store along with that Sega Genesis game I showed you earlier. He cut me a deal. Went ahead and picked this up because this is a relatively fun Star Wars game. For a Star Wars game, this one is fun. And this is available on the PlayStation 1 too, but the graphics I can't digest those PlayStation 1 graphics on this game. So the Dreamcast makes it bearable, and this is one that I wanted to get. So got that. All right, and then next up we have, so this is a game that came as a part of that PlayStation bundle, and I almost sold it until I realized how hard it is to find this game online. And then once I found it online, when I realized what folks are asking for it, I was like, I think I'm going to keep it. And that is Tekken, the first Tekken. Now I had Tekken 2 and I sold a copy of Tekken 2 over the summer. And I think Tekken 2 is like a $12 game, $11 game. But the first Tekken game actually goes for more. And I figured the long box would be a little bit more expensive, but no, just this standard copy of Tekken, I think right now is like $40 or $50, which I was a little shocked by. I'm sure you'll find someone who's willing to sell it to you for 10 or $12, but I think the common online rate right now is around $45. So I was a little shocked by that. And I actually, played this to make sure that it worked. And once I started playing it, I picked Paul and it was over. I was hooked. I was playing for about 30, 40 minutes. So decided to keep this Tekken in the collection. I don't have it. And maybe I'll go back and get Tekken 2. But this is a great find for that bundle. Because like I said, that bundle was like 120, 130. And this right here is 45 of it. So cool deal. And then another game that was a part of that bundle, which was really what caused me to buy the bundle, and I was almost doubtful that the game would be a part of it, was Silent Hill, right? I'm not a huge horror fan. I don't really like a ton of horror games. But when I saw that the Silent Hill was a part of the bundle, I was shocked. I was like, why hasn't anyone bought this yet? And I think it was because he had the Silent Hill game like as the 5th picture on his online ad. So most people probably didn't even see it. But I messaged him. I said, hey, is the game included? And he said, yeah. And sure enough, he sent me a very clean copy of Silent Hill. You see the manual in there. The disc itself is super clean. It's almost like brand new, 0 scratches on there. And I was really shocked that he was selling basically a like new PS2, Silent Hill, Tekken 2, and a bunch of other games, which I'm not even going to show in this video because I think a bunch of them I've sold already. And between the games I've sold and Silent Hill, just the value was great. I would say this is probably the best value pickup of the summer, because between Silent Hill, Tekken, and the PlayStation 2, that's at least 350, close to 4 in value with the other games, probably close to 5 with the other games. So $500 in value for about 120, 130 bucks. This was the pickup of the summer for me, and I'm glad that I was able to get my hands on it. Silent Hill. And who knows, maybe now I'll get into survival horror games. We'll see. All right, this is the pickup of the summer, and I saved this for last because this was one that I've been chasing down for years. Finally got it, and I was hoping to get it at the Long Island Retro Expo, but they were asking $180 for this game, and there's no way I'm paying that. I was able to find this game online for $68, and I'm super glad to find it, and that is Clonoa 2. Let me zoom it in here. Clonoa 2 for the Game Boy Advanced. Let me back it up. There we go. So Clonoa 2 for the Game Boy Advance. This is a very, very, very fun game. This is pretty much the 2D version of Clonoa on the PS1, and it plays just as fun. Very addictive, very colorful, beautiful looking game on the Game Boy Color. Not Game Boy Color, sorry. On the Game Boy Advanced. But this is a very expensive game. Not sure why it's so expensive. When I look online, I see it online for average around $140, $130, but this is one that I was actually able to find at a great price and add to the collection, and I'm really stoked about it. And that does it for the part 2 of my summer gaming pickups. Really stoked. So much has happened this summer. Moved my game room around, moved the game room up to the attic. Got some really cool systems. Got my hands on a Sega CD. Super stoked to have that. Found some really cool consoles this summer and was just really excited about everything that I picked up. And now I'm looking forward to the fall, right? Fall is where it starts to get cold again. We stay inside a little bit more and we actually get to enjoy the fruits of our summer labor of going game hunting, of thrift stores and yard sales, and we do all those pickups so that in the fall and winter we can actually sit back and enjoy some of those games. But let me know what you've been picking up. Why don't you drop a comment down below? If you're not subscribed to the channel, consider subscribing. This fall and winter, I've got a bunch of really cool series coming up, and I haven't even gone through all of my my pre-orders yet. I haven't done a video, so I'm going to be putting out a video with all the pre-orders that have come in over the summer, and that includes things like Castlevania Collection, the Shadow Box limited edition version, just different things like that. So really excited to share some of that with you, and then learn about what you've got going on. Again, I am the Y2K Collector, and thanks for stopping by. Hope you had a great summer, and I'll see you this fall. Take it easy.